Discretion is advised.
Happy Monday, you are listening and or watching PWNCAST. This is episode 140. We are in patch 7.1. Today we are going to be talking about just some little random news in World of Warcraft. There wasn't a whole lot. Blade's Edge Arena did get a nice little, actually it's quite amazing, a nice reskin, which they had been talking about doing that. But we have that and much, much more, so make sure you guys stay right here.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there is a group that defies convention. A group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch. A group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. A group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt, Bell, the PWNCAST Vanguard. The wolves whose howl can signal death's coming, Lycan. Snap back and get faster for the pet battle Grandmaster, Gemma Banks. He's sharp as a dagger with that dapper swagger, Secret Sauce. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are PWNCAST.
Welcome back. As you guys have noticed, before I unmute these gentlemen, I guess I'll unmute them now. Jim looks like he really has something to say.
No, you do all the talking, right?
How dare
Not in a mean
you?
way. Excuse me, intro-wise. You want me to intro everyone?
Called out. Wow. So,
Yep.
we are down a secret sauce this week. Unfortunately, apparently, family obligations with the holidays mean more than the show. I don't know what that even means, but we're going to just go on without him. Yeah, he's just rude. Right. He's at his mom's, and he could have carted like his PC over there and done all that, but it would have been a lot of work for him. So we're going to have to be without him on this holiday episode, which I guess it turned into a holiday episode because Jim forced me to put on my sweater. But
good.
It doesn't it look snazzy? I did bring the monk who is spreading his Canadian Christmas cheer, Gemma Banks.
Right? Happy holidays, everyone. I hope you've had good holidays, safe holidays.
Do Canadians celebrate Christmas?
We do. We had it 3 weeks ago, though, similar to the Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
No, we had it. We have Boxing Day. I don't think you guys have Boxing Day.
No.
Today is Boxing Day.
Boxing?
No, it's just, I don't know what it stands for. Why don't you write in the comments? Because everyone's been awesome the last 3 weeks.
Do you have a hockey day then?
That's every day, even though I don't watch much hockey.
There's a box like for boxers, like punching you boxers?
No. It was like our Black Friday. All I know it as is clearance after Christmas and everything's like dirt cheap. So Canada's trying to adopt Black Friday. Like we legit did it the same time you guys the last couple of years. But Boxing Day was our big sales. You buy everything like 80% off.
So that's an actual like holiday then?
Yeah, I got paid well today at work. Shout out to that. But I don't know what it's for, bad Canadian. I thought it was just everything's on sale. So
maybe one of you listening or watching wants to comment and let me know what the hell Boxing Day is, because our very own resident Canadian. That's embarrassing.
Tukes are French. Good. Thanks for commenting last week, guys.
You're the worst Canadian.
I taught my younger brothers about toques.
Nice. They're not.
They're like, what?
You mean a beanie?
Pretty much. I did also bring the paladin who carts Bell around for World Quest, Remedies. Welcome, Remedies, to the madness.
Label as a paladin. Okay.
Well, you can't be the priest because we have one of those. So. Secret Sauce would be very upset if I allowed.
The class change.
Yeah, if I allow another priest in the mix, he will.
Does Secret Sauce get upset?
I mean,
he says he does, but I've never seen it.
Have you heard him raid? Because he gets upset.
I heard one in every.
He's upset, but he's not like rah.
Yeah. I'm sure like 1 in every 20 raids he raises his voice, but other than
he's just all like, okay, we're done for the day, guys.
He really does. He's like, I'm over your guys' shit. We're done.
But Remedies plays a lot of tunes, though. Obviously, I think that was why you do play quite a few characters.
I think he was Hunter originally.
For the raid, for the RBG team, I was the Druid, and then the Hunter, and then Shadow Priest, and then, yeah.
Filled in whatever was needed, really.
I'm the jack of all trades, pretty much, when it comes to classes. I can
but
play
you're
everything.
not a rogue.
No, I actually have not played a rogue at max level.
That's why
It's
we're
only
friends.
fun.
Neither have
because
I.
you're not. I'm not really friends with rogues. Hots does have a rogue, but he's a really bad rogue. So
Is that why secrets? Go ahead.
It's a bad time for to tell you that David's switching his rogue to his main.
I'm sure he will. He'll never
That's
leave
why-
his main, but I'm sure he'll switch off and play the rogue because he does.
That's really why he's not here, because he challenged you to duel and you made him sit out a week.
He's a good rogue, and so he's also a good hunter, which is Hunter's DPS Bangin'. It's one of my favorite names of his tunes.
Bangin'! Hashtag.
Because when it pops on in Guild, it's like DPS Bangin' just come online. It makes me laugh.
Oh, that's the name. I thought you were trying to use
No,
like
his
slang.
name-
Like,
his-
oh, it's banging.
No. Well, it's a slang, but it is also his name. Well, we didn't have much in the news for World of Warcraft, which, one, because of the holiday week, and two, we always know what happens right before patch, right? So I'm sure you guys have noticed the background downloader has already called for the patch. So I think they haven't made an announcement yet, but what's weird is they told us before the holidays, and we're now past that, so I think we could assume that it's next week. Somebody had asked if Nighthold was attached to the patch, and to my understanding, Nighthold is not attached to it. So we could be looking at the patch sometime next week, but they've already called for the background download. I think it was 2 days ago. It prompted you to start downloading the background information. And there's already a lot of weird things with PTR. You can't copy your character over. There's already some weird stuff happening, which might mean that they're going to be bringing the 7.1.5 build down and then putting up the 7.2 build, because 7.2 build I'm assuming will be 3 months after the 7.1.5. So just kind of depends. But to that end, for the little bit of news that we do have, pets and mounts are on sale. Most of them are like 50% off, and you can get that through January 3rd. So take advantage. If you guys need something for your collection, buy it. If you got a sweetheart and you want to romance him or her, go buy them a $5 pet and a $10 mount. Go.
It's all about
You know
that
who are-
Wounded Guardian.
Yeah,
Right?
buy something for a friend. Get them smitten into the game by buying them a pet. Just throw money at the game because it's cheap. So,
Do you know who are sweethearts? Our viewers. I didn't tell you this.
I know.
Let's give 2 away randomly.
We're gonna give 2 away randomly.
Yeah. Can we? We've got. That's why I asked. Do we have time till next, to say next week's episode, or should we pick it in 3 days from now? Or
I'm down.
We would. The only
I just don't want to miss that $5 sale.
yeah, it's gonna be kind of iffy because the episode is on Monday and most people won't watch it till Tuesday.
So let's
So-
let you figure that out, because you're the giveaway finder. I know I should have told you pre-show. Maybe in a couple days we'll pick those people and
Yeah,
get their
just
email.
comment. Do the Jimma thing where you just comment on the show. The secret, we don't have to mention we're commenting because you want pet or mount. And then I'll just randomly grab somebody up and I'll reply to your comment that you've won, and however that'll work out. That makes sense, right? That good?
I mean, I'm wearing a Santa hat. Let's give something away, right?
We like giving away free stuff. So yeah, just comment on the show. If you're an iTunes listener, just pop over to the YouTube channel and give us a comment. Comment what you like about the show. Comment what you hate about the show. Don't comment what you hate about the show. I can't take it this week. It's been an emotional week. So just
Save
comment.
it for next show.
So where's your Santa sack?
Oh, me? I was looking at Belle like.
I'm
"Oh,
like,
here's-
what
It's,
sack is that, sir?
It's in the other room.
Disappoint.
It's an empty sack because of all the presents we already gave away.
We
but,
always knew you had an empty sack.
Oh, I set myself up.
God, that was so good.
Remedy sets them up, you knock them down.
I know. Let's make sure that you guys go and get your gifts from Grandfather Winter under the tree. One of the cool items this year was the Snow Blaster, which I was a little
Actually pretty cool.
disappointed. It didn't
It looks cool.
It looks cool. The animation's nice, but it didn't really blast like I pictured.
I thought it was gonna shoot someone and then they'd be covered in snow.
Yeah, it
which
didn't
was
do
cool.
that. It just shoots some stuff from the gun, but it wasn't as amazing as I would have thought. I'm not knocking it, so don't anybody be like, God, you're so ungrateful. It was free.
There is a disposable Wintervale costumes that actually has an updated version.
Yes, and it's a trunk that you get, and you can set it out for your whole group, and you get the full the new finely tailored Wintervale costume. It has a 20-minute duration for the costume, and the chest itself has a 2-hour cooldown. So that is a toy that you do get. The cool thing about this is you can use it outside of Wintervale. So
Nice.
from now until forever you could use it. Cool little thing though is if you click on it and you get the red version and you want the green, just keep clicking on the chest until you get the color you want. I got green at first and I didn't really fancy green, so it took me like 3 or 4 clicks, and then I finally was able to get the red version. And it's nice because we talked about it
Green
last
is
week.
better.
The finely tailored is way more clothing for the females. So
Cleaned up version.
Well, that and it's got the new textures and everything. It looks really nice.
it does look really nice. They did a really good job with it. This week's bonus event, starting by the time you guys listen or watch, is going to be the time walking, so make sure you guys go and do that cha-cha. Hopefully this time next week, or at least we know next month, we should be hitting the Pandaland time walking, which is going to be really nice. It makes you think like how far we are in the game that Pandaland is now. The dog is just she has no respect for anybody, and there she goes. She realized there's no treats under my desk, so she was like, bye. She's sniffing. She's looking for treats.
Yeah, MOP. It's been a
Yeah,
couple of
like how
expansions.
far we are in the game that MOP is already considered, old enough to need to be time walking, which is
Crazy.
It's when I bought my computer and it's dying.
No desk.
Need a new computer.
well, you don't have a
right?
desk.
Yeah,
Still no desk a year later, and we're still having this conversation.
It has been a year.
But you got a new Pokemon watch.
Oh, I just caught one. I didn't want to say it. I caught one. I was like, I should show everyone. I got a new Gear Watch for my phone I got today. It was free. I know it's not an iWatch like yours.
It's an
but
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch.
I was told it's an iWatch.
I called it an iWatch for like a week, and
Who
I think it was
scolded you? Someone
Julio
who
was like,
works
"You
at
realize
yeah.
it's an Apple Watch, right?" Oh, I just assumed everything else is I with Apple, so I just
Yeah.
made that assumption.
iPad, iPhone.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
Blades Edge Arena did get a very nice update. I did see pictures of it. It is beautiful. The only issue is I tried to go into PTR and it just wasn't happening. So we'll see it soon enough, guys. But they really did a phenomenal job. If they reskin all the arenas like that, I would never have a problem running an arena because it's so visually beautiful.
If they reskinned Alterac Valley, I'd be
Blades
down
Edge,
for
it
that.
looks very similar
that'd be
to a
crazy.
lot of stuff that we did in Siege of Orgrimmar. Like the textures and the look of
Yeah.
it looks just like that, and it looks really,
makes
really
sense.
good.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, very high HD quality, which is really nice.
Did
So-
you get to see the new Battle Brawl area?
No.
Tell us what is
Brawlers
this?
Guild area?
Oh no, I
it's-
need to go do that. That's on my list of stuff to do.
It's essentially the same, but it's the same thing. It's just updated, and there's new bosses and new rewards. It's actually really cool.
Nice.
Oh, there's this item where you use it and everyone's pulled inside. It's like a little mini raid. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about that previously. And there's like little things that you can buy for the little mini raid events for
Yep.
everybody. Yeah, the Brawlers Guild. I need to check that out this week. Actually, it's gonna be pretty awesome. A lot of people like the Brawlers Guild. I didn't get very far in the original version, so
Think of those chaos bolts now.
I know. Well, she's still a little sad and broken, but hopefully patch updates will bring good tidings for Belle's single target DPS. Her AoE is amazing, but her single target is shite. So
Imagine 6 months from now, Belle's name on the show is written in green, and she's just like this hunter.
oh no, I'll never change.
Taco Bell, which is
I
all
might
cool,
hang out on
right?
Taco and Gear Taco, but my
Right.
love is Belle. I can never, I can't imagine ever changing that. I don't know what's going on in my hallway. So we were talking about this right before the show. They're adding in 7.1.5, they're adding a new item that you can upgrade your legendary. It's called the Distilled Titan Essence. Now, this actually comes from a quest reward. The quest is Touch of the Titans. And what this quest entails is it requires you to get 50 essences of Amenthal, which I'm assuming is probably from Nighthold. You'll probably get it from the bosses in Nighthold, right? Does that seem like
I don't know where
sounds
you
right.
get it, but it's It comes after all the Illidan quests that.
Yeah, and I know that you have to. When I looked at the comments, you had to farm the 50 essences, and I think it's assumed that it's from Nighthold bosses, which would make sense because anytime they force you to farm something, it's typically like right now we're doing the Trial of Valor where you need 1,000 of those blah blah blahs. I don't know what they are, but I just know that I'm on like 150 of 1,000. Yay for grinding. And it increases the item level of your legendary weapon from 910 to 940.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a nice
big jump.
That's like a huge jump. So
just stats alone.
I don't know what the laws are going to be regarding being able to get it more than one time on one character because it is a quest item that you get. I don't really know all about that, but I'm assuming that it'll only be a one-time thing per tune. It would make sense, unless they're going to allow it to be repeatable, or perhaps another quest that they'll introduce that will allow you to get it again for those that have multiple legendaries. So,
does it say if it's just from the quest or it unlocks like on a?
No, it just says it's a quest reward. That item is a quest reward. So I would assume that they're only going to allow it one per character, which I think if they were to allow it more than once, you're looking at a little bit of a more overpowered situation, which I think is not okay for a balancing situation. But I think it's nice because even if you only have one legendary and that legendary is 940, that's pretty freaking amazing. So definitely good things there, I think. Pretty slow week for news, which, I mean, that's okay. Doesn't have to be all news all the time. But Gemma Banks, tell us about the World of Pet Battles.
Dang, this is the earliest from the start of a show.
I know,
that I've
we
ever
didn't
had
have
to
no
jump
news,
into
but
it.
we'll have lots of filler topics when we're doing our weeks in WoW and,
Yeah, and they deserve a week off. We've been getting a lot of news and we got to wait for that patch. So, we live in this world. What have you done lately? It's nice that you have some winning streaks and you've done well in PvP pet battles previously. Is your team still epic? Of course, I was very quick to say yes, of course. But you got to try it out. You got to do it. So I did do very well with my 5 PvP pet battles. I only lost once, and I did a couple extra matches. And the loss, I feel, was my own mistakes. And even though it's typical Gemma Banks style to be overconfident and say how good you're going to do, I should have known it was going to be just as epic, if not more epic. Like this team I've been claiming as the best team for PvP pet battles forever. And then last expansion, it got countered a little bit with AoE teams. And for those who've been watching, heard us talk pet battles, AoE teams were huge last expansion, overpowered, and all of them have been slightly nerfed. So that makes my team even more powerful. Again, the Death Adder Hatchling, the Terrorclaw Hatchling, and the Unborn Valkyr. So you might not all have the Unborn Valkyr in your collection. It's a very elusive, rare pet. And I've mentioned there's an alternative for the Death Adder Hatchling multiple times. You need to go get that. If any of you are going to do PvP pet battles, it is a must in your collection. You need it. It's in Stormheim. It's very easy to add. And you need the pet battle add-on Battle Pet Breed ID, because that will tell you the stats of the different pets at max level without you having to level them to max, because you want a snake that's 341 speed, which will make you go faster than all of them, and you get to attack first in most scenarios. So it's a must in your collection. I've also mentioned during the pet battle bonus events, or whenever you're leveling your pets, you want to do it on alts if you have them. It was very nice for the first day that I was able to get some time to power level some pets. I logged on to my alt, my druid that I've been casually leveling through pet battles, and he already had all the pet treat buffs on. So that's one of the benefits of just doing a little bit here and there. These pet treats that I've mentioned that give you extra pet battle bonus experience, there's a pet treat and a lesser pet treat that you can buy with pet charms. They last for an hour. And if you log out of game with 30 minutes remaining on them, you log back in, you still have them, right? So that's very awesome. So I was able to power level some pets right away and got a lot of new max level pets. I didn't get a chance to try out new companion pets. I did say that last week's show. I said I was going to rock it out with my best team that we've already gone over and try some new pets. So that's going to come in the future, and I've also already uploaded those PvP pet battles onto the YouTube channel, Warcraft Pet Battles, and I'm taking feedback from them. And of course, if you want to see certain pets for PvP pet battles, but I do like changing it up every once in a while, but I don't like losing. So I do stick to, overpowered pets or not gimmicks, because I don't like using 2 or 3 of the same pet. I did bump into a team with 3 Nexus Whelplings. I was able to defeat them, but that kind of brings me to my next point. I don't think you should be allowed to queue with 2 or 3 of the same pets. It's really not a problem for me, but I think for newer players stepping into PvP pet battles, it could turn them off. Like if they run into 3 overpowered pets and they get crushed and run into this person 2 games in a row, that's what a lot of pet battlers just really hate. Or I've heard a lot of stories from people who don't do PvP pet battles. They just lost so bad they didn't try it again. So, the pet battle bonus event is the best time to try out PvP pet battles, because I did run into some easier competition. But I think Blizzard should look at that. It's not a game changer, but I think it will be good for the community. So I had a very fun pet battle bonus event, first one of Legion, a lot of excitement, and also good luck to the random giveaway that we just decided to do on the show. Just leave a comment and we'll message you.
I have some pets that I need to level, and I'm so...
There's a difference between a need and a want.
Well,
I think you want to level them. You don't really have a need for those.
But there's some nice pets that I have that are just level 1s that I would really like to level. I just don't the new pets we just got.
Some of them are amazing. The Falcosaurus.
Oh, I totally forgot that I was mid-quest and I just gave up on my life. I have to do 3 PvP pet battles with him, and I want to just shoot myself because you have a speed version of the Death Adder hatchling and you've never used it. Yes, Belle, you have that same pet that so many people crave and yearn for. What is that? I've never used that word. Yearn?
Yearn.
Yeah, it's very good. You should try it. I'll tell you after the show. Just say, yo, Jimma, what was that snake pet again?
Because I need to level Mischief, and I need to level the Murky that we got.
But do you need to?
I feel like if you're going to get pretty awesome pets like that you should. Yeah. Mischief was meant for more than just me pulling her around on my...
Amazing. Did we talk about that last week? I was just randomly on Facebook. And
how I was like, let's go to the top of the mountain and pull my kitty around.
I thought that was cool. I was like, wow. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it was... Yeah. I'm not saying it was the amount of random stuff I do in game that just doesn't make any sense, but it brings me joy, is just both funny and embarrassing.
I think that's for all of us.
Immeasurable.
Right? It is immeasurable. I do like to RP, though. Not RP in the sense that people think like the full-on RP package, because it's just not my get down. But RP seems like a lot of work to me. Like, I got to memorize backstories, and I got to know all these things, and I got to be laughs with glee and all that other weird shit that I'm going to knock into RPers. It's just not my jive.
I've wanted to be able to fake it. Actually, this would be great because everyone who's been watching have been so good in the comments. If you could give us a couple sayings where if I wanted to pretend I RP, I could just reference what you type in. A couple sentences would be much appreciated.
I know the RPers because when they chat with me in whispers, they always put they emote, right? They put, and I'm like, oh, you RP, I recognize that. Because there have been, Zura does it, she does, and it makes me laugh because I know that she's a true RPer. I personally, a while back, I want to say it was last year, Lycan had done he had done an RP lore for each of our characters. Mm-hmm. And he had talked about where Belle came from and all this stuff. And I was like, I could totally make this my background and I could RP. And then the RP I did consisted of me rolling a tune called Bottom Bitch and going to Moonguard with Secret. Yeah, we went with Secret Sauce, and his tune's name was Fellatio, and there was bunch of us that went, actually. It was Aja, and there was a whole bunch of us that went.
For those listening that RP, though, I think they might even be offended, though, that you guys would call that RP. It is role-playing.
No, I don't say I was RPing. I was LARPing.
No, I know.
I wanted to see what the sexual RP community was about, right? I wanted to know what goes down.
Oh, you mean extreme roleplay?
Yeah, okay. We seen a shaman in wolf form in a night elf bent over in the graveyard. There was some serious things going on. Now, I'm not knocking anybody's fetish. That's your get down cool. I just thought it was interesting because, you know, I was being a looker. I'm not even going to lie. So if you were the couple in the graveyard, don't be offended. I just wanted to watch. I would think that you would be flattered by the fact.
I take it as a.
And I was naked, and my husband comes through, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
You should have been much more embarrassed.
I'm like, I don't want to be naked in game, but I want to be part of the team here. So I RP walked through, because when you're inside, like, the inn, you have to RP walk. It's rude if you're, like, running around the inn. You have to, like...
Oh, yeah, they get insulted, yeah.
Yeah. So I did, you know, and there was things. Lycan was there. He was on Pwn Daddy, and we left him alone for 5 minutes, and he had 2 chicks on each arm, and they were... Then I leave Secret alone on Fellatio, and he's giving BJs in the inn for silver.
That sounds like Secret.
Damn, he's pricey. I'd do coppers.
He did really good, though. Like, because he was doing everything in Say Chat, like, he was putting in work. Like, he knows a little bit too much about, you know, giving good word.
Yeah.
Because that's what was happening.
Right.
Oh, that's so awful. So
that's when I found out he came before me. Like, I was on the show, and then I found out, like, you added Secret Sauce to the show, and he'd been around forever, right? He'd been good friends or raid members for years, months.
Yeah, he was actually my brother's friend first. They met. Right. They were doing dungeons, and the whole dungeon, except for one person, they were all gnomes, and
gnomes, right?
They thought it was funny, and then I really liked David. David was like my kind of people, and we would Skype all day, and we would do runs. This was back in Siege of Orgrimmar, and we were trying to get the guild all their
heirlooms.
The heirlooms for their, you know, the one heirloom they
got
for their
weapons.
Yeah. So we had spent a lot of time together, and then my brother just kind of stopped playing, and I just kind of stole Secret. He just kind of became like, that's my friend. So.
I didn't know the fact that Dom stopped playing, so it's not really stole. It's more of he fell.
I just took over the friend position when you know, the brother left and he had a kid, and like all this stuff happened in his life. And then now he's back, because I always tell people, you don't ever stay away from WoW very long. People might QQ on the forums, I'm unsubbing. It's cool. I'll see you next month. Like, that's all good. You're unsubbing today. I'll see you tomorrow. That's like me saying I'm going to delete my Facebook account.
Well, for most people, there's an attachment there that you can't really get rid of. Even if you don't play for years on end, it's always there.
It's emotional. It's that moment when someone in your real life starts talking about WoW, or someone mentions it, or just even a conversation, it totally brings you back. You can't stay away for long. That's just the nature of things. So, in light of that, now, where we're going storyline there's a lot to be developed, and there's a lot of possibilities. And even someone like myself, who's not necessarily a lore follower, like all the past stuff, which I could always be better. I could read books. I really should make a point of doing those things. We have a lot of storyline left to develop, and a lot of future places that we could go that, as we know, WoW, they kind of tie in, right? When they're working on one expansion, they're usually 2 expansions ahead of time, making sure that, you know, the story lines up. I've never believed that. I personally think they fly by the seat of their pants, and I don't think they know what the fuck they're doing until 2 months before they're putting that shit on the storyboard. That's just my opinion, but... Red
Shirt guy kind of proved that.
Right. Like, I just think they go where the story takes them, not they take the story. You know what I mean? I think that's how they let it develop, and I don't feel like that's the wrong thing to do, because I do think sometimes the flow is better when you just let it happen organically. As far as that's concerned. But one thing that we've mentioned a few times on the show, but we've never really talked about, is the old gods. And I think we don't realize the larger role that they're going to play in the future. And I thought that it would be nice for Remedies to give us some information about that, because outside of Lycan, where I get my lore, I also get my lore from Remedies, because he's very well versed in that. So when I need to know something, we're like, where's Remedies? Because we need help.
Right.
So I thought it would be nice for him to just kind of talk about, I think it's Enzoth specifically, since I think there's a lot of background that maybe a lot of people might not have known, kind of what he had a hand in leading up from now and then even to the future. So what can you tell us about that?
Okay, well, with Enzoth, long story short, is he's been the main protagonist for all the schemes, all the plans since Cataclysm. He was the guy that corrupted Deathwing, caused all the Cataclysm stuff.
Why did he corrupt Deathwing? What was he going to get out of it?
control of us. He wants to corrupt everything that is Azeroth. He wants. Okay, so one thing about Azeroth is he's perceived as the weakest, but that's only because he's been in fighting with Yogg-Saron and Cthulhu for years and thousands of years, and so we took them out, and so now Azeroth has all the power, all the reign, all the power and just focus to try and take over the Titan Spirit inside Azeroth.
So he was behind everything in Cataclysm. What else
In terms
has
of
he been?
Deathwing.
What else has he been behind?
He's the reason for the Naga. It's hearsay, but for instance, Jara, it said that she was in league, or at least corrupted in the sense that he was whispering to her. And so when they all crashed down from the Well of Eternity, imploding, he took them in and turned them into the Naga, and so they're certain sects of the Naga are in league with N'Zoth. It's undeniable how the connection they have.
Interesting. So what does that mean for the future? What role could he possibly play in the future and where we're going?
Well, the Burning Legion's objective is to get rid of the Old Gods and the Void Lords. So once we get rid of the Burning Legion invasion going on right now, and we do the whole Argus thing, I'm fairly certain N'Zoth will become a very big power play after we get rid of his adversaries.
Oh, so he's basically using us to...
That's the way I always look at it, is even if we're doing it willingly or unwillingly, we're pushing his portfolio forward for his plans.
Now, with us going to Argus, where do you see this going beyond that? What possibilities can we see?
Well, there's still the Titan World Spirit we have to deal with for Azeroth. After that, there's possibilities. There's still stuff to do with the Emerald Dream. There's still many, many different avenues we can go to. There's the eternal conflict, which is between light and the dark, which is the void, and so it's limitless, really.
Interesting.
No limit.
Well, I like the
Pretty
fact
much.
that there could be somebody pulling the strings. I still maintain... I don't know. I've always been creeped out by Wrathion, and I blame him for everything, and I don't know why that is.
He's a weirdo.
Well, it's just the whole Mists of Pandaria, and I've talked about this before. When you're getting your legendary, and you were getting all the pieces, like all the stuff to it in the socket, right? He was very creepy, like, come over here to the top of this mountain, and you would follow him, and you would feel in the pit of your stomach, like, this guy's going to kill me. He's going to get me on the top of the mountain. He was way too happy and willing to assist us, and I always felt that was really weird. And then I've talked about this several times when we, in Draenor, when we went to Admiral Taylor's garrison, and you read the journal. And the journal talked about how Wrathion was bringing all these supplies, and he was going to help them. It was going to be awesome, but he's really weird. He doesn't really, we're unsure of him. And then, boom, everybody's dead at Admiral Taylor's garrison. Like, they're all dead, and Wrathion was nowhere to be found. And then I think there's a quest that we went through in Draenor, maybe, where we went to a cave where they had talked about Wrathion. I'm trying to remember what the quest was. And then we were supposed to see Wrathion in this expansion. The devs went on the line and said, oh yeah, about that, just kidding. Like, we found there's no place for him in the Broken Isles conversation. So that can't necessarily be a dead story, and I do feel like he's the enemy. I don't feel like Wrathion was ever an ally for us whatsoever.
Well, the problem with Wrathion for me is he has the same mentality as N'Zoth and the Old Gods. It's all about what he can gain, and the way he went about Pandaria, for instance, trying to pull us together for the invasion that's going on right now. It's really weird that he just disappears.
Yeah, like, where do you have him hiding? Why haven't you introduced him? What bigger... I don't believe that they're just done with that whole story. I've never believed that they were done with it. Even And I think when we had talked about it previously, we had talked about how, the dragons in the egg, they can hear everything, and possibly that's what pissed him off. Like, he got sick of everybody talking about when he was in the egg, how they were going to use him and what they were going to do with. Maybe he just got pissed off and decided, screw all you guys, I'm just going to, rule the world. But I don't know where he would fit in now. None of that would make any sense on how he would fit into any of this.
It's possible that he is corrupted by N'Zoth. But for instance, in Netharian's lair, Ebonhorn, the guy that's the Tauren that turns back into the Black Dragon and all that, at the very end of the dungeon, he even says, like, I have family matters to attend to, and then runs off. I assumed it was to do with Wrathion or some type of Deathwing.
Well, in Deathwing, there's two things that you go through. There's two visions. The first vision's like a real small vision, then the second vision, like, you see Deathwing. And it's weird that they would talk about that, that's so many expansions ago that they would bring that to light. It's like they're finding little, like, breadcrumbs to lead you. They don't want to necessarily completely cut that out of the story. So do you think it's possible that it was this old god that's been behind this the whole time, and even possibly behind Wrathion's bullshit?
Wrathion, I think, is a possibility just because of his mannerisms. But for sure, it's N'Zoth that's going to be the final play for it, on Azeroth, at least.
I called him N'Zoth. Where does N'Zoth, like, dwell? I know it's a stupid question, but for somebody like me who doesn't understand, like, is there, like, a planet for old gods? Like,
Okay, so there's no, like, specific place that they've said he is in terms of the lore or story from Blizzard, but it's theorized that he's somewhere under the depths of the ocean, and it's said to that by the whispers of Xal'atath, the Shadow Priest dagger. It whispers to you, and it said some pretty interesting things.
That. What can you tell me? I was going to ask you that. What the whisper? That's your legendary weapon that whispers. Yes.
The artifact, yeah.
Oh, why did I say legendary?
Like for instance, one thing Xal'atath says is almost completely gone, has never existed, but the rift is deep and vast, and somewhere down here it stirs. Something has changed. The last prison weakens. We must prepare. That one's talking about N'Zoth is breaking his prison, and he will be breaking out, and he's somewhere deep and vast. And that was when, at the very end, when Malfurion and Cenarius do the whole Rift of Alm thing. And you know that little flower that was in that cave?
Yep.
That was pertaining to the old god corruption within there.
So did somebody put N'Zoth in prison, then?
Yes, it was the Titan Forge from the Titans. Like, the Valkyr, not the Valkyr, the Titan Forge, the Earthen, and the people that were made from the Titans, they were put there so that they could trap the old gods because they were too embedded into Azeroth itself.
So he's, like, under the ocean on Azeroth, then? Like, he's not in a different level of existence, like, he's on Azeroth.
Well, old gods do live in all planes. You have to completely remove their existence to even get rid of them. Like, for instance, your Saj, who was the deal with Mr. Pandaria, his heart remains, and the corruption was still affecting Pandaria.
I remember that drippy heart when we fought what's his crap, and the heart would, like, drip on you, and you're like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. The last boss, right?
Yeah, it was when you fought... damn if I can remember his name.
Oktar.
Yeah. I blocked out a lot of Mr. Pandaria bosses, so...
Remember that fool Wrathion ate that guy's heart? I think it was the Thunder King. You had to, like, go get it in the quest chain, and he's just like, he ate it.
Well, I quite enjoyed the legendary quests in Mississippi.
Too.
Of all the legendary quests we've had, the farming part of it was not the business, but I did enjoy. I enjoyed the feeling of finally getting the cape, and I enjoyed it immensely.
Blizzard did that farming part so the higher geared people would go into LFR and make LFR still be a thing for the older versions of the raid.
True. But, You're right.
I did like that quest chain as well. I did like the ring was okay, but I did like MOP. I don't know. It gets a bad rap, but I liked it.
It was my favorite expansion.
I don't know about favorite, but I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
So is there any other old god that, like, N'Zoth would team up with, or they don't do that? They don't, like...
Again, they only team up if they gain something personally. They all have the same end goal, which is corrupt the Titan spirits. but they all want to do it themselves in a way where it betters them.
Would we as
They
a
want the power.
people would we as a people be able to defeat an old god?
We have before.
Just to say,
Yuxaron.
them teaming up would be the only way they could take us out, right? We're here for life.
Pretty much.
Good luck taking us out.
Well, when we've killed like Yogg-Saron, I think we, like it had said sometimes before, that we don't actually kill them. We kill their
The apparitions.
yeah. We don't because
But I
they're
mean,
not man
we-
enough to bring their real bodies. Right? They send their spirits because they're too scared. I'd be scared too. If I
I'd be
was
scared
fighting
of us.
Bell in a dungeon, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Chaos bolts.
I'm not that scary, but I don't know. Do you see us staying on Azeroth, or do you see us going past Azeroth for a future expansion?
For the long term, we have to leave Azeroth because
There's
the
no more
void
story,
is,
right? Where's the story?
well, it's not even that. It's the main, the whole deal is the void, and you have to leave Azeroth to even deal with them. That's why Turalian and Aurelia, they sent that message in the light's heart, and so it's going to be it's called the eternal conflict. It's between the light and the dark. We have to go somewhere else to even take the fight to them.
What else does
Right?
your weapon whisper to you? I would get so weirded
question.
out. Like, does
I get giddy whenever it whispers me because I learned something new about like something I didn't even think about. So
Still, like, it still talks to you and will, like, say something
Yeah,
random?
like,
we were on Zoom the other day, and he's like, "Oh," and I was like, "What?"
like if you're facing a certain boss, it tells you something that you wouldn't have known about otherwise. So
Oh.
um
My weapon doesn't do that.
These are just mine, fucking shitty aftermarket janky swap meet weapon.
I like the way your weapons look, though.
so this kind of shows like the power of the void in the old gods. It says it whispers you when you're running around Val'Shara. It says here you'll see the Legion's invasion is ultimately futile. All can be corrupted, dreams and demons alike. So it just shows if we want to take the power, we will.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
because I mean, we're champions.
We're beginning to see the kind of effects that Sargeras saw that caused him to start the Burning Legion. We're starting to see how futile it feels to go up against the void itself.
If your weapon's saying things like that to me, I wouldn't even understand what it meant. Like, if you didn't explain, I would have been like, what did it say?
Who's the
Okay,
void
so-
then?
The void is the void. It's the light and the dark. It's literally like all there is evil.
So the void is like a person, place, or thing. This is what it means to be my friend, and you already know this.
It's
Like,
all of the
Yeah.
above, really. It's like
so the void. When you're talking about the void, like, is it like the nothing in Neverending Story?
kind of, yeah.
Don't laugh at me, Jim.
No, I don't. Hey, I'm the same. I those are the questions that I just don't ask. Like, when I don't get stuff in World
Oh,
of
I have no
Warcraft,
shame.
too
I'm not
embarrassed.
ashamed.
Right.
I'm not ashamed at all. I have no shame.
But you know, on the show, sometimes I'm just like,
So the
Yep.
void is like, that's who we're fighting?
That is the end game of the entire cosmos. That is what the whole fight is for. We're such a minuscule part of everything that it's almost kind of...
You're minuscule because we're amazing. I don't know
Right?
what
I'm
you're
not offended
we are
too.
We're
amazing, but
amazing.
we're an amazing small part of the
Yeah.
whole grand scheme of
So
everything.
you're saying we're not the best there ever was?
like no one ever was
No.
to train them is no.
How interesting. I want to know
Yeah,
what your
that's
guys' thoughts are. So if you're listening or watching, give us a comment. Tell us what you think. What are your thoughts? All you tinfoil hatters, put a tinfoil hat on and let's get jiggy with it and talk about things.
Na.
This one was one of my favorites, by the way.
What happened?
So this one is one of my favorites.
Is it a
so-
whispering?
Yeah, it talks about the conflict between Cthulhu, Yuxaron, and N'Zoth, and your Sarge. It is ironic that the weakest of us may be the ultimate victor. Cthulhu, Yuxaron, and Yasharaj, and well, only one would remain to consume the world. That was always meant to be. So it's saying it was always meant for one of them to be the victor, and then eventually we will lose, is what it's trying to say.
Now, would it be so bad if one of them were in charge or they hate us?
So before the Titans found Azeroth, there was a Black Empire, which there was all four um, old gods that ruled over the very, very tiny creatures, the mantids, and all that. And it was, for lack of a better word, a shithole in terms of happiness. And so the Titans wanted to end that, so they made the Titan Forge, which, like I said, is the earthen that's the Titan created sentient beings. And so the old gods cursed them with flesh, and that's how you get the Reichroll, the dwarves, all that. That's how you get that. And it's like I said, the whole end game is just old gods and.
So they wouldn't be like good presidents for us then. Like it's not to our interest. They wouldn't be good rulers then.
What would be a good president for you guys?
It's not the president we have now. Well, the future, which we're not going to talk about that because we don't talk about politics here. We're not political. So they would not. So it's not in our. We don't need to be ruled because we're men, right? We're.
Well, go ahead.
I'm my own boss. I got an artifact weapon. I don't need no boss.
Well, long story short, we lose those eventually.
Well,
Spoiler.
And it makes you wonder, like, what is so amazing about Azeroth that everybody wants to rule it? Like, there's always all these massive struggles of power that people want to rule it. To what end, though? What do they get out of it? They want to make us their slaves? What do people...
kill us?
Well, the Void wants everyone to be enslaved, but in regards to Azeroth, it's because of the Titan spirit within Azeroth. The old gods want to corrupt it, make it their own, so it's a Void Lord. And the Titans want to get rid of them so that it becomes a Titan.
Because we're still sure that in the middle of Azeroth is a Titan. Like, that we're going to find out that Azeroth is a Titan, right? Is that...
It's just hearsay on who it would be. I'm of the opinion that it would be Elune, because it makes too much sense.
Like, what makes sense about it?
Well, Elune, there's a version of Elune in every race. The Terran call it, I can't remember the name of it right at this second, but they have their own version of it. And so it's another embodiment of the light, and that's what the Titans come from, is from the light. So it all adds up.
So Titans aren't terrible.
Misguided sometimes, like Sargeras, but no, they are not terrible at all.
Because then
Elune.
Yeah, and Odin's kind of an asshole, but
Well, he's kind of a dick, but then again, he's kind of like, the grandpa that's like trying to get you on the right path. He's, kind of.
Yes and no.
I don't like fighting him, if that helps.
So, there was another whisper about Odin, actually. And so, it's talking about Odin and Loken, who you kill in Wrath of the Lich King. He's like the designated watcher. That's what causes a whole bunch of other stuff. But it says Odin was a great enemy until his arrogance proved his undoing. You should ask him if he's considered Loken's final words to him. Go ahead. So you ask this at the end of the dungeon. You talk to Odin, and then he kills you because he goes, "You want to ask something like that? Piss off! I'm gonna kill you because Loken's not here to take the blow."
What a jerk! So he's kind of bitter a little bit. He's a little bitter.
A little bit.
Interesting. I never knew all that. I feel like we should be priests so we could get whispered to. Jim, what do you think?
I was just going to say earlier, or I said it earlier, I wouldn't understand what all that meant, so I'm glad Remedies could just break it down, because if it was whispering to me, I'd be like, I don't know what this means. Like, so I said at the start, I wish that my weapon did whisper to me, but I think I'm on a level that I just wouldn't understand it, so it's better it whispers to Remedies.
Whispery sweet nothings.
Oh,
right?
Man. Wow. Well, that's a lot of food for thought. So, yeah, comment if you're an iTunes watcher. Send an email or pop on over to the YouTube channel. You want free shit anyway, so comment what you think. Because, yeah. And give me some future topics for lore that you would like to hear about, and we'll go more in depth. So if there's a specific topic that you want expanded on, or you want theory crafted, tinfoil hat, all those good things, we're good at making shit up because that's how we do. So feel free to comment, and we will get back to you on that in the future.
I think we'll have a permanent lore guy soon, maybe.
Maybe.
Question mark?
It's one of those things where if it goes, it goes, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Oh, you guys don't watch Trailer Park Boys.
No.
If she goes, she goes. Anyways, continue.
We don't watch Trailer Park Boys, Jim.
Canadian classic.
That is
I didn't know
so
Canadians had TV.
Right.
embarrassing. So
Got
in
like 4
light
channels.
of having a Bell's Bites, I thought it would be nice, because we're going to do our weekend wow, but I also thought it would be nice for everybody to talk about what they did this week for their holiday. Thought that that's really nice. I know that those of you listening and watching at home do enjoy hearing the stories of fuckery that comes from our lives outside of game as well. So let's start with you, Gemma. What did you do this week in your real life for how?
Yeah.
Tell me about your holiday extravaganza.
My holidays are usually pretty plain and boring. You shouldn't have started with me. I live a quiet life, really, and we've got a little bit of family in my city, right? So normally we go to my brother's house, but he's engaged now, so he went to his fiance's brother's. So to be honest, mine was very quiet. I had a quiet dinner with my mother, and we don't. Like, I love the holidays. I love Christmas. But we don't celebrate that hard in my household. Like, we didn't even put up a tree. So everyone always feels so sad and go, oh, I feel bad, because, that's a big part of Christmas and all the feelings and stuff. And like I said, I love that kind of stuff, but we just don't put the effort through. So sounds so depressing, right, when you're explaining it that way. But even gifts, like the gifts that I got for certain people, I usually give them before Christmas. I'm such a bad holiday guy. So it was very quiet. Yeah, I did dinner, and I'm sure your 2 holidays were much more exciting.
Whenever you talk about doing stuff with your mom, I always picture you as like Norman Bates.
What? I thought you were gonna say like meatloaf.
Like, I know, like,
Mom
I'm gonna
or
I'm gonna hear come out of the sound of your headset, Norman. Just kidding.
No, yeah. I hope everyone had good holidays. Let's hear about your holidays.
Remedies, what about you? What did you do for your holiday extravaganza?
Christmas Eve is the big family gathering where it's like everyone in the state comes down. Worst time ever, because I hate telling the same story 50,000 times. And it just mentally drains you. It's like, I'm so tired after that. And I only had like 3 beers. And I was like, God, I'm tired.
Gotta
And then
take
Christmas
shots.
Day, my family isn't like that. They're uppity.
You're not that family. Got it.
No. But on the Christmas Day, we do the thing in the house, and then we go to the grandparents' house. And I mean, it was good. Yeah. Dinner and all that good stuff. Basic
Interesting.
white family Christmas.
I feel like yours was a level above mine, and now Belle's is a level above.
So the Christmas Eve was amazing. We had my sister and her 3 kids, her 3 kids, and we had my younger sister. And then we had Ella bring her brood of 5 children over, and I made Christmas Eve boxes for all of the kids. Instead of like,
That was cute.
I always have to shop for Heather's kids and my sister's kids. It's like 15 children. So I was like, maybe we could make it not about that. How about the adults just donate, all put together these boxes? I bought Christmas jammies for each kid, a Christmas book, did a hot cocoa thing where I did white chocolate covered marshmallows and covered them in sprinkles and put them together in little kits with peppermint stirs, and I made little shortbread cookie bites, and I put Christmas candy in there and Christmas toys, and it was just this nice big box of stuff that each kid got to open, and there was tons
You
of
made
stuff in
epic
there.
Christmas loot crates.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. And they turned out way better than I thought, and the kids received them really well because there was a lot going on in the boxes. Like, there was lots of stuff for them to go through. So that part was really fun. And Christmas Day came. We opened up our presents, which was equally awesome because I got
Yeah.
my Doom Hammer. My husband got it. There's a store in one of the malls here that deals with this type of stuff. You can buy all kind of weaponry and anime stuff and all kinds of stuff. And this was under the tree. Now I know.
Have you been working out? How do you hold that?
I know it's really heavy. Now I know that this is horde, guys, but I can't help it. I love the Doom Hammer, even though I'm Alliance. I would like the Alliance sword, the movie version, as well, to add to my collection. So now I just have to find where to put this. My husband did really well. Normally he doesn't do Christmas gifts that great, but he did really well. To be fair, though, I'm hard to shop for because I'm tech, right? And if you buy me the wrong tech, I'm going to be pissed off. So it's hard to shop for me. But this brought tears to my eyes, literally. I was like, yes, this is amazing.
Yeah. Get a stand and put it where those papers are on the edge of the desk.
I know. These papers have been here for 2 years. I don't even know what's in this file. Pretty sure
it's grocery list from 2 years ago.
It's like a W-2 from like 2008. I literally don't.
And you bang it down real hard like Judge Judy one time for us?
It's super heavy. Yeah, it's not as heavy as another version. There's another version that's like 2 times heavier. My husband said he was going to buy me that one, but he said he could barely lift it, so... If he could barely lift it, certainly.
I was joking. I thought it was a lighter version. I was trying to make it seem like you were real strong, but it is heavy, you say.
It's quite heavy. It's probably about, 5 pounds? That's not heavy, but I mean, for an item. But it's, I could hurt. I mean, I'll hit you. You try to rob my house.
Right?
And the Doom Hammer's going to come swinging.
Well, good. I'm glad you had good holidays as well.
We did, and then I got sick Christmas Day, so we didn't get to make Christmas dinner. In fact, the Christmas dinner is waiting for me to make it. I'll probably make it tomorrow. When I say I got sick, the stomach flu was going around my house, and I kept praying I wasn't going to get it, and I was sick all the way up until probably about 3 o'clock this morning. Finally, the last of it was gone. I thought I was feeling better last night, and that was a lie.
Sitting there waiting for World Quest.
Yeah, no, that was an awful lie. It was one of those moments where you just shack up in your bathroom because the stomach flu is gnarly. The norovirus, guys, the norovirus, it will kill you. So I didn't get to do what I wanted to do on Christmas Day. That part was kind of sad, but, what are you going to do? I got a Doom Hammer.
It's almost impossible, I would think, for you in a household of kids and a husband to, if they're sick, for you not to.
The only good thing about it is it hit everybody one by one. Never was there ever 2 people sick at once. So that was really nice, except it was a slow creep. I knew it was coming, and I was just like, I wish they could have ripped the Band-Aid off and I could have got it first so that I could have, been good for Christmas. But then that means somebody else would have had it. So I guess it's better me than...
I'm glad you're feeling a little better or better now.
I lost a couple pounds. I'm happy. You can't be sad about that. So that was our Christmas stories. Now let's talk about our week in WoW. Gemma, what did you do this week in WoW?
So weird, always going first these days. I guess this week, 2 weeks. Yeah. Anyways, I enjoyed my first ever Pet Battle bonus event. Obviously.
I can't believe that was the first time you've ever done a Pet Battle bonus event. I'm so embarrassed to know you.
It's the first one for Legion.
But it's not the first one for Legion.
So there was one. There was, because I remember when I was on vacation, that was...
Oh, that doesn't count.
There's been 2.
This is the second one officially?
It's the third one, I think.
No, there's no way it'd be the third one. It'd be the second one.
I feel like it's the third.
There was a weekly quest where there was the PvP pet battles, but I didn't think it was the pet battle bonus event. But now that I say that, that makes me sound like a baddie. Comment. I thought this was...
It's definitely not the first because I've seen the little icon above.
Yeah, I know it's not the first because I've done it before.
So then that was the tail end of the BlizzCon week. Or I know the week either as we left for BlizzCon or came back there.
Probably.
There was a weekly quest, but I don't think it was the official event. Please, in the comments, let me know. I know there was a PvP weekly we missed based on, I think, us going to BlizzCon. But I don't think it was an official Pet Battle bonus event. If it was, I look like a schmuck again. But I did monk things, obviously. I did hunter things as well.
You did do hunter things?
I did. I know, I almost... We talked about alts last show, and I'm like, oh, I'm sticking with my monk. And I have. I started filling up my tank and still adding to my healing with all my artifact power. But I did go a little further just in the artifact quest for my hunter. And I guess, excuse me, last week also with our whole laughing about you and I for Mythics, I said I don't have anyone on the Alliance side, and my RL friends spoke up. So I guess you are... he is my buddy, but every time he's on, he still has to do world quests for gear. So, you got to get that done on your own time, right?
You do world quests even for, AP. You're not just doing it for gear, you're doing it for AP,
right, but, so he legit was, the first couple times I helped him get into just heroics, right? So now we're trying to get him to mythics, but every time I did log on, because we really only meet up on my days off, because he is on during the day, he's on an alt, and to each their own. So yeah, if you're listening, which you are, very, very faithful listener, get some stuff done. I'm the slacker. Like everyone's, I can't have someone slacking less than me and then me catching up. But he's been leveling up his mage. I guess he got a legendary at 108. He linked it in the guild. He's not even max level on his alt mage, which is cool. Yeah, so shout out to him. I didn't even know you could do that. I've never really heard, right? And so anyways, I do have people, and I do have other friends in the guild, so hope to game with you soon.
Just not very many.
Right? I am limited.
And even less now if you piss some people off and pretending like you ain't got no plans.
There's others.
Right? And I know Belle will talk about it more on her week in WoW, so I won't spoil it, but I got to throw snowballs at her face. But she started it.
I did.
And she provided the snowballs, so I feel like it was encouraged, and we had a good time.
It was encouraged.
Yeah, I had a good week in WoW.
Remedies, what about you? What did you do this week in WoW?
A whole lot of world quests, a whole lot of riding Sam around on my little sandstone drake.
I don't know who Sam is, so I can't help you.
Riding around Belle, my bad.
That wasn't the first time.
A lot of world quests, a lot of doing helping out people with mythics, getting them attuned, getting them like you ever get the board mission for one of the mythics, helping people with those, any keystones. And then Friday, I'll let Sam talk about it, but we had the guild.
I don't know who Sam is.
Belle.
You gotta get him a shock, a shock, like
aversion therapy.
Nipple cramps for every time he says your name, he gets shocked.
Weird that you would say that.
I think he's into those kind of things.
I think you're into those.
Electricity. Sorry,
we had the guild party, and that was really good. We had all the things, the cha-chas, and yeah, that was my week in WoW because I didn't do much over the weekend. I was catching up this morning. Yeah, lots of things.
I didn't do anything this weekend either. I was dead. But I did do, the typical World Quest stuff. And then Friday we did have the Guild Holiday Party, which is it was a raging success. There was like 60-something people there, which is pretty good. And we had it in the beer garden in Delaran. Annoying about the phasing. We had to keep adding people to random groups because we couldn't do a 40-man because we had more than 40 people. People were phased. It was a bad time. But people did come sit on Santabelle's lap, and when they would sit on my lap... Which
was a sight to see.
I know. When they would sit on my lap, I would be like, tell Santabelle what you want for Christmas, and they would, say whatever thing they wanted, and then I would give them a gift, and it had random stuff in it. Then we did trivia I made more gifts than what I needed to. There was like 200-something gifts. And we did random trivia to give away gifts, because there was Minion of Grumpuses and all the Panthers, some expensive pets, some non-expensive pets, just some, random stuff to give out. It was great. I did give out snowballs. I saved the huge snowballs for myself, and they're like ginormous. Like it lagged my whole computer when I would throw them at people. It was so much fun. I threw yellow snowballs at people, and it was great to see so many people. It was great to see so many people. I don't know what my kids are doing in there. To see so many people involved and to get excited about it. So it was nice.
I was getting out my recording system to I'm going to throw these snowballs at Belle. And as soon as I went back into game, here I am standing still getting hit in the face with snowballs. Snowballs. So that was fun.
So funny. I didn't get as much game time this week as I wanted to. We have to move. And I don't
moving
like
sucks,
moving. Yeah,
usually.
My landlord's selling the house, and we've been here for like 5 years, and I'm not ready to buy, and I don't know that I would buy this house specifically, so that's a stressful time for me, but fingers crossed that I get a closed office, because that's on my list, is to get an office where I could shut the door so that I don't have to hear the battle cries from
or even not
the
even connected to the house.
Right. But we are in the process. Super stressful, and I'm like freaking out about it, but it's going to be okay. We're going to make it work.
If you have that office, I picture this sparkling clean office that you're in, and when you open up the door, it's just like chaos. It's just
well, and I've been stalking this house that has a detached. It's an attached guest house, but it's detached and it has its own separate entry. And that guest house would essentially be my office, and it has its own bathroom. Like I could totally do everything I need to do in this little room, but it's a little bit more expensive than the budget allows. So not really sure, but that is hopefully we'll get it worked out. And of course, I will move around the show day because that's how I roll. So yeah. So not as much game time as I would have wanted, but hoping that will change.
That comes with the holidays and being as sick as you were, right?
So
I think we
much.
all had a
The
little bit
holidays
less
in
time
general
to
are
game.
just so stressful, especially if you're a parent. That is just the time of year where it tells you how bad you suck as a parent, because like you want to
that's
do
a
all
little
these
rough.
you want to do all these things for your children, but you also can't afford it, but you're going to do it anyway, which means you're going to put
That
yourself
doesn't
in
make you
debt.
suck.
Yeah,
I
I
just-
think we're in.
I don't know.
Kids get enough. Like, I'm not trying to say like they don't deserve, but like even just family members are like, "What am I gonna get this my nephew?" or blah blah blah. And like, he's got like 500 iTunes cards. He's not gonna remember you gave him a $30 iTunes card. Like,
I had a
people are
crappy
spoiled.
childhood, and I had a father who got our presents out of a dumpster. So I think that could be a little bit of why I like. People are always like, "Why are you always so stressed out?" You don't have to be stressed
Yeah.
out. I
That
just,
is a percent, yeah.
I
you want
just-
them to have such a good
yeah,
holiday.
I want them to
think,
have a
yeah.
different memory than what I have. And somebody had posted a thing where this lady buys, 450 presents for all 3 of her kids every year. And people were like being super judgy. I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do, but if I have the means to be able to buy my children all them presents,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going to
true.
buy it because they're my kids and it's not for you to judge.
Yeah.
But I also know the stress of when you can't afford those things, and we did really good. All the kids are happy. I'm pissed off that Santa got credit for the tablets that we bought because they love the tablets, and they're like, Santa, my little one was walking around the house today, I love Santa, he's so awesome, and I'm like,
Mom, you didn't get us
no,
nothing.
I'm
for
like
Christmas.
this, fuck you, Santa, fuck you.
That's when you just gotta tell the kids straight up, like, yo.
My now 18-year-old, when she was like 10 or 11, I'm like, hi, that's me. While you're getting all excited, that's me. And it was really a moment of bitter because she was really excited about her stuff, and I was pissed off that he always gets the credit. So
I just got an image of like you and just like pulling off your fake Santa beard, like, I got you those damn
And
presents, and
she
then put the beard
was, she was devastated. She was like, why would you tell me that? Like, she was
'Cause you
so
were acting
upset.
like that.
I know. She was so. That's not good parenting, guys. It's not.
That's fun. It's
Good.
not bad,
Don't
parent.
be bitter.
It's not bad. It's not
Don't be bitter.
good.
It's not textbook.
Is it though? Is it?
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's
Never
not.
Oh,
go
I
by
got
the
emails
textbook.
to read. I forgot.
Right? Oh, I love reading, or I love hearing emails read from Belle's voice.
What?
I don't know. Let's hear the emails. They're good. I like them.
Let's see.
It's just a weird way for me to explain that I like them.
This is a really long email. I'm gonna,
bullet points, Belle.
So Chris
Bullet points.
Rogers, he addressed it, Miss Bell. I hope you're doing well
Bell.
this afternoon. Wanted to say I love the show and am saddened to hear about Lycan. Thoughts and prayers to him for better health. I just finished listening to this week's podcast, and your Bell's Bites really spoke to me. I'm a returning WoW player. I leveled to 90 in Miss Pandaria. However, real life and a computer that barely played the game any longer forced me to retire for quite a while. Thanks to a friend of mine, I slowly pieced together a computer build this year and built a computer for the first time the week Legion launched. I have
Nice.
thoroughly enjoyed this expansion. However, now that I am max level and it's time to go into Mythic Dungeons and join a raid team, it has been a hard experience. The pug life is a very hard life, I've learned. You have never lied. The pug life is a hard life.
It is.
Joining
Argent Dawn.
Joining raid guilds, I have found many that have no patience for those that are not experienced raiders, and the moment numbers are low, they find a replacement and kick. I've been made fun of for being an old man. I'm 30. Wow, that's not even old, dude. I mean, if that's old, I'm over the hill. So
Right. I just picture like a lot of hots is like making fun of them. Like, you're 30.
I know. It's a lot of 12-year-olds. I'm very much a team player, took skinning and leatherworking solely to fill a role for the guild, and I take criticism while I really want to get better. I just need a group to play with that would be willing to help someone along and have patience. I would love to push Mythic raids and play at that level. However, much like a house, a strong foundation is needed with such content. I'm at a loss as where to get a group such as this. Most guilds I see are asking for raiders to push mythics and flat out say be great at your class, which is perfectly fine. It's not a knock on guilds doing that. I'm just not sure where someone like me goes from this point. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for the show each week. Hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Casper. I totally gave his full real name. Sorry. So here's what I would say to you. Number one, Writers is always looking for good people. I don't necessarily say spend your money and transfer your tune. Come roll a level 1 and see if it's to your liking. Come talk and chat, see how things go, join our Facebook group, hang out, see if you like it. And if you find that it's something that you'll get down, then you can, of course, transfer. I don't pay for transfers. The reason I don't is because last time I did, I got screwed. So we don't do that anymore. But roll a level 1. Come see how you like it. Do a little bit of leveling. Hang out. See if it's your fancy. Even if you don't do that, it is really difficult to find yourself a new community. And part of the reason I wanted people to do homework on that is I wanted to know what the struggles are with that. I don't have that struggle because I built a community. So for me, it's difficult for me to see how hard it is you guys have it out there. So the easiest way to do that is to get involved in the Facebook communities. Get added to these groups where you befriend people and you hear them talking about their guilds. Keep in mind, when people are talking about their guilds, they never tell you the shit parts of their guild. Every guild has them, including mine. Sometimes my guildies are assholes and I have to boot them. Sometimes my officers don't do their job and I have to yell, and then they yell at me, and then they forge a group chat where they talk shit about me. That just is what it is, folks. It's the nature of people. Sometimes
I've been paying attention to Facebook community in the last week, specifically, and it's quite the
and everybody will tell you my
variation.
guild's super awesome. We're all super helpful. Yes, Writers is very helpful. However, sometimes you ask a question, it doesn't get answered in chat. That's normal in guilds, guys. Sometimes you need a run and nobody's on to run you. That's normal in guilds. We have the same normalcy that most guilds have, except where there's a need, we fill it. People complained that there wasn't anybody running mythics on the time they needed them. What did we do? We created mythic runs every single day. There is an officer that hosts a mythic run. People wanted casual raids in addition to progression raids. Guess what? We have 2 different sets of raids running in tandem. You don't like progression? You can run casual. You want to run progression? We are progression. You will pull the DPS required. That's not talking shit and saying you have to pull 500k, but you will pull the required DPS for that tier's rating. And we're not mythic raiders, guys. That's not. Maybe one day, but it's not today. We're heroic raiders. Easy. One day we'll be, mythic raiders, but we're not mythic raiders. But
I think it's important to know your class too. Like,
well, for
I know
sure.
he said, yeah, I know he said he's not necessarily doesn't have to be in that mythic class, but like, skill will get you into groups, and sometimes it's you need some gear, but really look at a lot of the top end classes or rotations or guides and be very familiar with your class, and that will help you get into some groups potentially, depending on scenario.
A lot of good guilds will have people that are the go-tos, right? The masters of their classes. I have a master of every single class and spec in my guild, which is what I love about it. And whenever someone's like, hey, need paladin help, somebody else will be like, hey, I got you. Not all help is created equal. Let's be clear about this. When you're posting in forums and when you're posting in these WoW groups and you're twittering and you're asking for help, it's like whenever I ask a question on Facebook regarding a computer, the first thing I say is, if you are not a computer expert, don't fucking comment, because I don't care about what you have to say. It is difficult to get good advice because not everybody is a class expert. Just because somebody's been playing a class for 7 years, they could have been playing wrong for 7 years. So really make sure you're researching and doing your homework. And it happens. I have baddies that are good friends of mine that have been playing the same class in the same bad way since the beginning of time, and I'm just like, you're awesome, but you're really not. So just understand that not all help is created equal. Find yourself a good community. Like flashing your BIOS, and people told me to flash my BIOS, and guess what I did, guys? Because that's what I do. I listened, and
she was arrested.
Everything was broke. Bertha was dead. But just take everything, any advice that you get on playing your class, take it for what it's worth, and just always research. Double check your facts, and you don't necessarily have to rely on the pros. Rely on people that's real life players that are good at what they're doing. And as far as finding a community, Facebook groups and pages are a good way to be able to find that. However, people are not always honest. And when they say, oh, I have this great guild, it's totally awesome, and we love everyone, 99% of the time, they love everyone that's their best friend, right? And that is what it is. That's the nature of guilds. They'll love you if you're their bestie. So if you are looking for a home, we're always giving homes. So come check us out. Roll a level 1, see what we're about. If you like it, you love it. If you don't, just look to the communities for that. And even the forums. The forums have people talking about guilds all the time. So I definitely encourage that. As far as raids are concerned, there's always going to be those tryhards. And it's finding the people that are the in-betweens. I like to think we're the in-betweens because...
Yeah, you are.
We barely started doing cuts on our raid team, and we've been raiding since raids first came out. So we barely started making those cuts because we do give people, and then the people that get cut can go to the casual team to learn what they need to learn. They can learn new roles, they can learn how to heal, they can learn how to tank in an environment that's not, you're a baddie, you get out of here, you suck.
Well, it's not even really toxic, it's just making sure that you're in an environment that actually helps instead of like, we need these numbers right now.
Like, I'll help, and we'll be patient as long as we can, but if you're still doing the same dirt mechanics 6 months down the road, we got to have a conversation. The real is real.
And if someone took you up on the homework on the last show, because I spoke to the guy that rolled to level 1, Argent Dawn, and I was telling him all the things that the guild does, like we're active during this, we have these events coming up, and like within an hour he whispered me on a tune that he transferred, and was like, okay, I need an invite.
Yay, I love that. See, and I invited a very lovely couple, hopefully they're doing well. I should probably check in with them. 2 shamans, actually. I can't pronounce their name because I could barely pronounce it when I invited them, and I had to double check the spelling when I invited them, but you guys know Belle, and Belle's bad at pronunciation, but welcome to the couple. You know who you are, the dual shamans. I believe they were both shamans. We actually got quite a few people this week, which was really nice.
Yeah, the gentleman that I got was that was talking to me. His DK is Nemuko, and his warlock is Nemo. It's Neimo. Someone said that you sent them. I'm probably just thinking because of the podcast.
Who sent you?
I probably
Who
did.
does number 2 work for?
That's why we can't have nice things of any. I just dropped my thing on the floor.
The ball.
Damn it. I'm just kidding, guys. I could have swore I had another email somewhere. And
Tell everyone how you really kick Secret Sauce off the show for a while. Because you're scared to do it.
And he had told us like a month in advance. He was like, I'm not going to be there for the day after Christmas. And I'll never remember. So you always have to tell me right before. So then last week he was like, remember, I'm not going to be here.
As soon as we were done the show and we were like, wait, what?
and I acted like it was the first time I was hearing that news ever. I was like, I don't understand. So he's at his mom's and he needs some family time. He works a lot. So otherwise, he moved his date night for the show, so I can't even be mad. He doesn't go on Vegas vacations and miss the show, and he doesn't extend his.
I really am sorry. Let me just say that on live on the podcast. They were waiting so long for me. I just booked my flight from Monday to Monday, so Belle was nice enough to move the show a day early before I left. And
Belle wasn't nice enough to move the show. Jimma Facebook messages my husband and is like, I know we moved the show to Mondays because it was a promise she made to you, because we used to do the show on Saturdays and then we did the show Sundays, and the compromise with my husband was, can you not do the show on a weekend? So if I want to go somewhere, we want to go do something on the weekend.
Right.
Because I'll say no, because nothing comes before the show. Like, I plan my whole week around the show. And people might say that's crazy. I don't think it's crazy. I treat it like it's a job, and it should be treated that importantly. So the compromise with me and my husband was, okay, I'll move the show to Monday. That way, if we want to go out on the weekend, we can. And I've never broken my word to him. So first of all, you break protocol and you message my husband, which is totally out of bounds.
Yeah, it really is.
So here's the funny part. Are we ready? Now here comes Belle's confession.
Yeah.
My husband never said a word to me.
Oh, he didn't bring it up?
No,
Really?
my husband never said a word to me. What happened is, in passing, I saw a message from you on his Facebook, and I was like,
oh,
that's weird. So I logged into his Facebook. I see the message. I turn around and I look at my husband and I'm like, hey, if Jim messages you about the show, don't feel obligated to move it. And he goes, why would he message me? Liar! Lie. He pretended like you didn't message him. Totally had your back. Then 5 minutes later, the message is gone out of his Facebook. So I was like, whoa.
bro is nice.
So I don't say anything. I say my piece with you, and then a week later, he says something to me. And you know how when you make your woman mad, and she doesn't say anything, but when you make her mad again, then she's like, and another thing. So then I'm like, and you, by the way, I knew you were a fucking liar, and I knew that you deleted that out of your Facebook messages. And he goes, I didn't want to get Jim in trouble because I love Jim.
Yeah, does he? Nice. I really didn't want to miss a show, and even though like Belle was just really being loyal to her man and not changing that, I just wanted to ask him because I thought maybe he wouldn't care. But I feel like the way worse scenario was, I don't know why the drive from the airport took so long. Belle has to stay up and edit the show and go to bed, and I was like 2.5 hours late from when we normally do the show. So by the time we did that show and she edited, she would have been exhausted. And I think she had the baby the next morning. So I guess another chance for me to just say, good job for all that hard work, Belle. The fans love you for it. Friends.
Isn't that funny how we like, you didn't even know that I was never going to tell you.
I didn't. I had no idea. And Vegas just popped up.
And then I told him, you will never, ever, ever delete a Facebook message. Ever in your life.
Me too.
And he's like, I knew, he goes, I did not want you to be mad at Jim. I knew you were going to be mad. And I was like, then I told him, and I was like, you're so dumb. I already seen it. And you just made yourself look like an even worse liar because you lied and then deleted it. But he had your back, and I have to appreciate.
I like to hear that.
I have to appreciate
I feel like
the
I
man
make things worse sometimes, and so
that romance though.
I was mad. Right? I was so mad. I was like, "How dare him!" But I get it.
It really hurt to miss a show. I didn't want to miss a show when I was in Vegas, but the show must go on, as Belle says.
The show must go on, come rain or storm. I also want to thank everybody for everybody's outpouring of comments about last week's episode. I know that a lot of people had messaged without watching the full video, and they were like, "Oh my God, you quit? You're done with the show?" And I was like, "No, did you watch the whole video?" Because people thought it was like a goodbye, and that would just never be the thing. It just isn't what we do. It's not in the cards. So. Unless I was homeless, which I might be if I can't find a house soon.
Starbucks and a cardboard box.
I'm gonna have to.
I can see you're doing that. Yeah,
I really could
start doing the show from Duncan because we've lived here so long. The prospect of moving just makes me want to puke because we've been in this house for so freaking. That's the price you pay for not buying a home, guys. This is why you should buy. But nobody's gonna sell me a house because I have bad credit. But.
Well, like I said, you have movers nearby, so...
Yeah, when we move, I'm going to call out and have all the boys, I'll feed them for the weekend and have them come help move, because just this desk alone is going to be a 6-person project. It took 5 of them to move the desk in here. The desk takes up literally like half my office.
But you didn't have a T.O. soiled.
It's true, I did not have a T.O., and he is big and buff and could probably move this desk his damn self. There's a hole in my wall from where they moved the desk upstairs. It went right through the wall. Yeah.
Jesus.
Did he move it up there? Or did,
no, my husband and my brother-in-law, 2 of my brother-in-laws, but yeah, they're.
It does. Now that you say it, that would be a project alone. So much stuff to move.
And there's so much crap that I have a box in my garage, and it's a big box, and I've moved it from house to house. Every house me and my husband got, we upgraded. We started in a shitty apartment. Then we had a house for a year. It was awful. It was like the money pit. It was the worst house ever. It was unlevel. It was like the ugliest house ever. The tile was brown, or the grout was brown, and it should have been white. It was just the most awful, ugly. They painted the countertops. Who paints the countertops? It was awful, but at the time, we were a young couple, and it was all we could afford. Each house has been a step up. But I have the same box that I've just added crap to that we just move from house to house. I've never fully unpacked it. I don't know what the fuck is in it, and I don't know what it's there for, and I don't know why I keep those things. But there's like old batteries and like random cords. It's like
everyone has that box.
It's like the box that you never unpack. You just take it from house to house, and you don't want to do anything with it because what if I need those items? And it's got a little part from each house that we've ever been in that's in that box. And every year my husband tries to throw it away when he cleans the garage, and I'm like, no,
I need to look through it first.
Mine's in the closet.
I think I have mine in my spare room. I just cleaned it out the other day, actually. But I think Remedies can agree. That's probably the least of your concerns with all the random nerd loot crates of everything that you get. Yeah. I'm sure that is just a U-Haul in itself. All your stuff, Belle.
Yeah.
We don't even know half of it.
Well, you could just saran wrap the shelf.
If you have a house you want Belle to come live in, Facebook
Live
me.
from the show, live from your house, Belle.
Facebook me because I'm accepting applications to live in your house.
I do have a spare room. I don't know if I could fit you.
Everybody's been freaking out because they think I'm I'm not in poverty. I'm not losing my house because I'm poor. The owner's selling. The owner's sick. He's in his 3rd year of ALS, and he doesn't know if his wife's going to be able to maintain the properties that he owns, so he's selling his stuff, which is fine. It makes total sense, and he's a great guy. But people are like,
Oh, did he get back with you then?
Yeah, no, he still hasn't responded to that email. But my mom is like, honey, what are you going to do? Like every 5 minutes. And I'm like, Mom, I realize that this is a real tragic situation. I understand what's going on right now. You messaging me every 5 minutes and asking me what I'm going to do is not helping me.
In between all the stickers.
But I'm not poor. I'm not in poverty. It's hard to move a family my size, which unfortunately means my brother-in-law and my brother with his new baby and his girlfriend, they're going to all have to get a house on their own. Maybe it's time everybody leaves Mama Belle's nest, and maybe Mama Belle can just focus on her children and her husband instead of focusing on everybody else, because it's a bad habit I collect people. The House of Misfit Toys, essentially.
We've already talked about my arrangement.
Well, now Remedy is trying to get that guest house.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we went way off WoW topic, but sometimes I think it's nice for you guys to have a peek into our weird life. Also, 2 things that I wanted to talk about before we leave the show. I've gotten several emails over the last couple months asking if we would vlog. Specifically asking me to vlog, but I would assume you would want the other guys to vlog. I don't know what that entails or what that even means. I've seen people vlogging. I'm trying to get a count if you guys would be interested in that vlogging. Just because a few of you have asked doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to jump on the vlog bandwagon. I don't know that you guys would give 2 shits of what we had to say privately in a video. So if that's something you're interested in, comment, email me and let me know. I don't...
Have vlogs in your house would be entertaining as shit,
well,
though.
because my whole house is nuts. But I don't want to jump into something and do something if it's just because there's but I've had quite a few people ask me why I don't vlog. And I guess I never saw the purpose, but then in researching what other YouTubers do when they vlog, they talk about their personal stuff and all kinds of stuff. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. I'm not keen to give myself more work, but if it's something that you guys like, I like to talk, we all like to talk, I'll consider doing that. So
I think they just want more into your life. They only get a taste of you maybe once a week, or you know what I mean?
To that end,
Or maybe...
I'm also going to start streaming again on PWNCAST channel, and I also want to know if you guys are into that. I did a Resident Evil demo. I did the demo for Resident Evil 7, and I uploaded that to my personal YouTube channel, which doesn't have anything on it.
You took time away from Warcraft to play a non-Warcraft game?
I did. But I actually have a Bell YouTube channel that's brand new. I'm going to be doing non-WoW content on the Bell YouTube channel. It's just for shits and giggles. I'll
subscribe.
It's just for shits and giggles. It's nothing up. It's just for me to, because I do play other games. Not a lot, but I do play them. But we are going to start streaming again. So if you're interested in me streaming on PWNCAST, I don't know if the other guys are going to, but I know I will be. Let me know if you also are interested in me streaming again. I don't know if anybody gives a shit. So
it's all shits and giggles. So someone giggles and shits. So
that happened to me this weekend. Oh, so sad. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Remedies, thank you for coming on the show. For those of you who don't know, Remedies is the bestie, right? I have the female bestie, which is Ella, and then I have the male bestie, which is Remedies. This poor guy tanks for me. He heals for me. I barrage and pull all the things, and he doesn't even bitch.
His back is so sore.
I know.
Carrying Belle.
He taxis me everywhere because my house is so much going on that we'll be running along together on a quest, and I'll totally squirrel. And he's learned to just throw me on his back and go because we'll get there a lot quicker.
She asked before she barrages now, though, so that's bonus.
Out of respect for you, and sometimes it's not an ask, it's more of a I'm barraging, just so that you know.
Pretty much.
To be aware. So thank you.
Yeah, it was great having you on the show.
Yes,
You'll have to come back sometime.
I'm the step-in of the step-in. I'm like Rudy, man. Oh,
right? Rudy. Rudy.
The Samwise to my Frodo? Maybe.
I do carry you around, so maybe.
Is that a short joke or no?
More of a I literally carry you around joke.
I'm gonna take the sweater off because it's freaking hot.
Yes, it is.
I can tell because you're like,
yeah, it has. Can you guys hear? It's got jingle bells. It's a
jingle bells for Belle.
Right?
It's got jingle bells. Okay, we're going to get on out of here, guys. We'll be back next week. What is that? Oh, that's like a whole Santa outfit.
Yeah, you can't really see it, but there's my little holly. I think you
Oh.
got my belt buckle. Let me just adjust that. Oh.
So weird. We're going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, thank you for giving us your hour and a half every week. We are honored. And I don't know what he's doing. It's creeping me out. We are honored that you allow us to enter your home or your car sometimes. Invited.
Leviosa.
Oh.
On that note, we're going to get the fuck out of here. I can't deal with that. Bye.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
I didn't realize that was a Santa outfit.
Yeah, it's... And my brother stole my other one that says it's got Santa and it says Kringle is ready to mingle and he's holding the beer. So
That is awful. Kringle
Why?
does not mingle. He stays at home with Mrs. Claus.
that's what you think,
What about
There's
Mama and Dad?
right? They're swingers.
Oh
They've
my,
been married-
you never ever say that.
I would never tell the kids that, but they're definitely swingers.
You're a terrible individual.
I mean, it
Right.
makes sense. He goes to every city.